Hey guys, if you're here, then you're trying to find the cheapest solution to get full body VR tracking for VRChat. So today we're going to go over on how to set up the Xbox 360 Kinect. The setup for the Xbox One Kinect should be similar, but today we're focusing on the Xbox 360, which seems to be the more well-rounded one. So I'm going to go over the basics and I'm going to lay the foundation to make this as easy as possible. First off, I'm using Driver4VR. It is a paid software, but you can test it for about 10 minutes with the trial software to make sure everything works. So what you need to do first to get everything smooth as possible, open up your Steam VR. You don't have to wear the headset right now. Once it's working, you'll see standing by, whatever. You're going to disable Steam VR Home if you haven't already done that. So you go to Settings, and you go to General and make sure that Steam VR Home is off. That way it saves on resources and you don't load into anything weird. So we'll get that out of the way right away. So that's all set. Next up, once that's done, you go ahead and go to the Kinect for Windows SDK, and if you have the Xbox 360 version, you make sure you have 1.8. If you have the Xbox One version, get 2.0. But remember, the 2.0 version does not work with the HTC Vive, and I'm going to assume it doesn't work with the Kinect either because the newer version has the same IR frequency as the Vive or the Index, and it will cause issues. That's why the 360 version is better for the HTC Vive. If you have an Oculus, by all means get the Xbox One if you can afford it, but we're going for the cheapest solution here. Either way, download the SDK that matches the combination you have. So Index and Vive, from what I can tell, is for the Xbox 360. Oculus and so on is for the version 2, which is the Xbox One Kinect. Okay, so now that's out of the way, make sure you download it and install it. Once that's set, you're good. I'm assuming you've already purchased the Kinect and the power brick and plugged everything in. If you haven't, then I can link the power brick to you. And if you have an old Kinect and lost it for some reason, that's fine. Make sure everything's plugged in at this point and ready to go. After that, you head on over to Driver4VR and hit download. Make sure that you download here and install the Driver4VR setup exe. Once it's installed, it may or may not pop up on the screen like so. So what you need to do is close out of everything. Steam VR, the driver software, if it didn't pop up on its own, that's fine, but make sure you reset everything. Go ahead and quit Steam VR, close out the Driver4VR software, that's fine, and go ahead and restart Steam VR. And as you can see, Steam VR will restart. It's going to look for searching, and automatically Driver4VR will pop up. Now, if for some reason your Driver4VR does not pop up, make sure to go to Settings again. Go down to, I believe, where is it? It's either in Developers or Dashboard. Nope, I lied. It is, there it is. It's in Startups / Shutdown. You're going to go to Manage Add-ons and make sure Driver4VR is enabled. And once it's good, again, one more time, restart Steam VR. Ignore my messages. They're not detecting the base stations because I don't have the headset on right now. So quit that if you have that error or you don't get Driver4VR to open up when you open up Steam VR. So go ahead and go back to Steam VR one more time. And once it opens up, you should have Driver4VR loaded together. And you'll get a new symbol saying D4, which is perfect. So wait for it to start up. And once you have it start up, you're going to see this screen. We're running version 5.2.8.1, which is the latest as of this video's upload. Your screen will look exactly the same as mine. The only difference is you might have a 10-minute trial. Don't worry, you can reset it every time you restart Steam VR to get testing going on. And the other thing, body tracking will actually be off. So this is what your screen should look like. Do not change anything else when you open up Driver4VR. You're actually just going to go down to body tracking and connect skeleton. Make sure that's selected. Then start Driver4VR. At this point, you don't need to touch your headset, so don't worry about that, or your controller, so don't worry about that. Once you're set and running, you hit calibrate and do new 2-step. If you did it correctly, then you should be able to see your Kinect, basically play areas view. Pretty much set. Now, one tidbit before I actually stand up to calibrate, you'll see tilt angle right here is set to -18. The reason being is this software in the Kinect behaves very strangely because there's an internal camera inside the Kinect that tilts on its own. So even if you automatically manually tilt the, or sorry, not automatically, if you manually tilt the Kinect via the physical means, it will always adjust to a weird angle. So what I recommend you do before you even calibrate is find a position that you want your Kinect, point it towards the play area, and close out the program again, and close out Driver4VR again, close out Steam for VR again, and do it one more time and start it back up. Because now that you've positioned the camera and you know where it's going to show up on your Steam VR and Driver4VR page, you can manually software adjust the angle of the camera. And once you software adjust the angle of the camera, it's permanent. I had an issue for half an hour trying to figure out why every time I manually tilt the Kinect up, it would actually tilt back down and vice versa, because it's automatically set to 0 degree. So if you point the camera all the way down, it will try its best to get to 0 degree by tilting the camera inside the Kinect. And then if you point it all the way up to readjust that again, it will automatically point the camera down to get to 0 degree. I learned that, so I'm just teaching you guys and showing you guys how to do it, just in case you're getting confused as to why every time you tilt it manually on the camera, it keeps adjusting. You're going to go ahead and go back to start Driver4VR, and all the settings should have saved. Perfect. Hit calibrate, new basic 2-step, and once you're here, play with the camera adjustment. Try to take a guesstimate as to where your camera angle would be when you're standing up. Okay? So in my case, this is my play area. So it's set to dead center. So I'm going to go ahead and stand up and show you what the sensor should be showing you once you go ahead and stand in the way. Slide my chair out of the way. So once you set it up and once your angle is perfect and you're happy, make sure you stand somewhere in the middle of your play area and make sure that the skeleton is tracking your arms and legs. So in this case, you can see my feet as they move, and you want to confirm that that's good to go. Once you can confirm that the skeleton is tracking pretty well, then go ahead and pick up your controllers and your headset. So let me go ahead and put mine on. So I know it's a little hard to hear me right now, but that's okay. I will try my best to re-explain to you at this point. So now that you have your headsets on, I'm going to assume that you can still kind of see the screen. So one way to do this is actually using the Steam homepage interface where you can view the desktops and click on the desktops. If you don't have that, I believe it's advanced settings, but I'm pretty sure it comes standard. So you go to the screen that has your Driver4VR activated right now, and you use your controllers to basically select it. If you don't, that's fine. You can also just manually go to your computer and hit calibrate, and you'll see here standing still, whatever. Make sure you have your controllers on. Hit got it, and move into position. Now if you can't see, this is where the Steam app page where you can view your desktop comes in handy. So you're gonna try to move your body to dead center. As long as it can see your headset and most of your arms and stuff. If it doesn't work, it will say boo. Make sure you keep the controllers off to the side and your center. What I would recommend is stay at the far back of your, if you're doing play area, far back of your play area. Once you have that, make sure you're facing forward towards the Kinect as best as you can. Try to remember where you marked it. And hit calibrate again. I personally would do it in the HTC or the Steam VR's little viewing window where you can use the controllers as a mouse. I don't know if you understand how to do that, but I can try my best to help walk you through it. Right now I'm controlling the mouse with the page. Once you do that, you hit calibrate and go through the page again, hit got it, and put your arms out until the progress bar hits 0, and then it will clap. After that point, you move a little bit forward in your play space and hold your arms out again so it's clear, and that's it. Calibration is complete. Perfect. Now we're actually just going to go straight into VRChat because that's how plug and play this is if you did it correctly. So minimize everything. You can actually close out the calibration screen but leave the Driver4VR page up. I'm actually just going to go and open up VRChat via my library in this thing right now. You guys can't see it because it's not capturing this screen, but once VRChat starts, it will start capturing that view. So as you can see right now, we're starting up VRChat. This is exactly what you guys should see. We're loading into my default world, but I'm going to go ahead and change it to what you guys would normally see. So let's go ahead and head on over to, where is it? VRChat home, new instance. So yeah, you would spawn in like so. There's a little bit of an issue right now is depending on your VR, you will have, sorry, not your VR, depending on your avatar, it may or may not support full body tracking. In my case, most of my avatars do. So when you start VRChat with an avatar and Driver4VR loaded, you'll get these balls and your avatar will just be standing here headless. So what you need to do is, these obviously are your, I don't know if you can see it right now. So you can't see the hand controllers, but you should see balls. There should be 3 of them. One, the middle one right here is for your hip. The other 2 are for your feet. It doesn't have to be in the legs. It just has to be pretty precise, as in it has to be visible. So what I recommend you do is get your hip as close center to the body as you can. Your feet should not, doesn't have to be within, people recommend you put it in the legs, but it feels weird for me because your legs look like they're either far ahead of you or behind you. So what you should do is just keep the balls however you feel comfortable with the feet, and a little spread out, so left to right, and the center hip ball should be dead center on the avatar as best as you can. And once you do that and you feel comfortable, you pull the triggers on both the controllers and you're all set to go. So now you should have full VR body tracking. We're going to go over to the mirror and I'm going to show you again with the mirror. So to mention, you have to calibrate every time you change your avatars. So in this case, I'm going to change to one of my other avatars that supports the full tracking. So let's say I want to do this one. So you'll be standing like this, hands out, and you'll see balls, again with the balls. You see 3 of them. You will be able to see the HTC Vive controllers or whatever handset you're using, but I can't show you that right now, but I'm hoping you guys are seeing 3 balls, white ones. Try your best to face forward when you're doing this, as in you're facing the sensor, and hit calibrate. And once you're good, try to get your feet matching the shoes and spread your feet out just a wee bit so that the sensor can read your individual legs, because sometimes if you put them too close like this, they'll actually register as one leg. So you want to spread them out just a wee bit. It doesn't have to be too far from the shoes, but far enough. And the ball right here, the hip ball, as long as it's dead center on the body, and you can put it inside the body or out, then you're good to go. And then once you're ready, you pull the trigger and you're all set. So now you should have full body tracking. Kick, kick, kick. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It may mess up once in a while and you may have to recalibrate depending on your avatar. This is a new one. I haven't actually gotten the calibration down just yet, but play with it as you guys want. Get your feet placement as comfortable as you can, and eventually it will work. Another tidbit is if your avatar happens to be rather short, so I think I had an issue with my other avatar, which was this one. So this one's a little bit of a shorter avatar compared to the other ones. So if I stand up straight and basically just match, sometimes fully standing he'll bend his knees. So what some people recommend you do is face forward like you normally would try to calibrate, and then put the feet balls as comfortable as you can. Doesn't have to be right on the feet, but close enough, and squat just a wee bit so that when you stand up, the knees don't bend. But again, once that's all set, you have full tracking and you can kick around. Ignore the head thing, it happens once in a while. Play with the settings, adjust the tilt angle till you find the proper placement for your body, and that's it. Basically, once you're done, you should be. It's not perfect, but this is the best solution that you can get with the money. I spent no more than $30, software and hardware included, and I have full VR tracking. For me, it's pretty fun. Eventually, I can afford the HTC Vive trackers. You might get issues where your avatar tilts back like that, and that's because, again, the center ball has to be like directly above your head, but dead center. So I'm going to recalibrate one more time just to get a perfect calibration, at least for this body. So make sure you look down, you're good to go, and try to lean maybe a little forward. And yeah. And now when I lean forward, and I lean back, I lean left, lean right, and I kick, and I kick, and I kick, and I kick, 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 kick. That's not normally supposed to happen. I think there's something in the way. Oh, I know why. Make sure your wires are out of the way, because once in a while, your wires will actually be picked up as your body. That's why I was doing that. Yeah, so make sure your wires are out of the way, and then you have full VR tracking. Simple as that, for basically $30 or less, depending on where you are. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, if you want to hang out with me in VR, let me know. Hit me up. I usually roam around most of the world, so yeah. Thanks guys for watching, and if you have any questions, post below. I'll try my best to help you out. I can mainly help out people with the Index or the HTC Vive, but if you have maybe the Oculus, I would love to learn and maybe make another tutorial. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in VRChat. Peace. One side note I forgot to mention before I finished the video was that you can only use the Kinect sensor facing forward. That is the limitation of this full body tracking as compared to like the HTC Vive or any of the other like modifications such as the Nolo or using the PS Move controllers with Driver4VR. Yeah, you can only face forward because it basically tracks your colors and your body from a forward position. So if you try to basically turn a full 90 degrees, your body will end up being just a line. And if you turn back around facing the back, I don't think the sensor will know that you're facing the other way, and your body will glitch in VRChat. So you only get a full 180 degree turn radius rather than a 360. It's a small limitation which you have to get used to, and you have to remember that. But as long as you stick to the center of your play area, and you're spaced out pretty far from the edge of your borders, you should be good to go. Other than that, from my usage for the past few days, the Kinect 360 sensor works pretty well. It's not perfect, but it's not bad either, and it's not the worst. And it's by far the cheapest. Again, I only paid $30. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Again, if you guys want to hang out with me, let me know. Shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to meet you in game and, you know, hang out, talk, whatever you guys want to do, and help you set up if you need help. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you like what you see, hit subscribe, and I'll be posting more content and tutorials and stuff like that. So I will catch you guys around. Thank you again.